Welcome to Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc, the wildest mixed tag team in podcasting, where the kayfabe drops and the chaos takes over. Let's ring the damn bell.
Headlocks tight, heels on the prowl, dropping elbows, hearing growl, feel the foul. No script here, just real, no bluff. Kayfabe crack, now the dirt gets rough. Headlocks, heels, havoc in the zone. Stepping in the ring, chaos is your home. No filters, no mask, just raw bare tone. Wrestling unscripted, we on the throne. Title belts, mic checks, crowd going crazy. Drop truth bombs, leaving lines feeling hazy. Beyond the kayfabe, past the charade, where legends are born and stories get made. Headlocks popping, who's hitting the mat? Welcome to the Havoc where the real talk's at. Tune in, step through, leave the fake at the door. Headlocks, heels, Havoc, now hear the roar.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am one half of the greatest tag team in podcasting, the legend J-Mac. With me, as always, is, of course, everybody's favorite uncle and my favorite tag team partner, Uncle Slam.
What's up, family?
And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest with us from Aftermath Pro Wrestling. We have the savior of wrestling, Chad Casey. How you doing, Chad?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
Doing good. It's a pleasure to have you here tonight, sir. You was on a show earlier with, it released earlier today. With a friend of ours, JD, the bad guy, good guy and everything. I haven't had the chance to see your all show yet, so I will have to check that out afterwards. But yeah, man, it's a pleasure to have you here. I'm glad you're also a friend of ours, Brock's Boulder. Everybody knows we know some Brocks because he's been on a few episodes. We love Brock's, and he runs Aftermath Pro.
Yes, sir.
And and Chad here is one of the talents for Aftermath Pro. So like I said, we're glad to have you here, talk some wrestling and get you spotlighted and everything. Try to get your name out there a little bit more. Not that we have the greatest reach in the world, but hey, what reach we have, we'll definitely try to get it out there for you, man. Look, there's JD right there. Hey, yo, I told you he'd be in here quick, fast, and in a hurry. What's up, JD, brother?
What's up?
Oh, man. So, man, how long, just jumping right into it and everything, how long have you been training or how long have you been a wrestler, actually, as a matter of fact, and everything? Like, give us a little intro to yourself.
So I started training in December of 2025. So basically 6 months in. Had my first match in January with our old training school. Brock's was, he's the GOAT. I can't say enough good things about Brock's. It was going to be our last show at that school for other reasons that his story is his story.
Right.
And we were leaving the school and I chose to go with him, and I'll follow him anywhere. But he called me the night before that show and he was like, "Hey man, I really want you to wrestle." And I was like, "If you think I can do it, I'll do whatever you need me to do." And so I had my first match then, and it was a welcome to the business. It was a squash match. I was fine with it. I got to work at the actual first school that I got to train at, and then we went to Aftermath, opened up Aftermath, had my first match, legitimate match in May, and then my second match will be tomorrow, actually on the 13th.
That's awesome. That is actually very awesome, for real. I'm happy for that. Happy for you for that and everything. It's like I said, Brock's is a great guy, and I've never had the pleasure of, seeing him train, but I'm sure, just knowing him, he's a good trainer. He's probably, very thorough. He loves wrestling too, so you can't go wrong.
Nah, yeah. He can't count, but you can't go wrong with him.
That's a story we'll have to get into a little bit here in a little bit. So let me write that down. Brock's can't count. So,
I don't have to worry about him jumping in here because he's actually working tonight. So
oh well, there you go. There you go. You just got to wait for a shoot fight here come
yes,
next training
absolutely.
day. So, what inspired you to become a professional wrestler, and how did you actually break in to the business? Was it just happenstance? You just walked in and said, "Hey, I want to be a wrestler."
So I've been a fan of wrestling since I was 9. So I just turned 30 last week. Yeah, last week before that, something like that.
Well, happy belated birthday!
Thank you. So I've been a fan for like 21 years. And as a kid, I was like, I'm definitely getting into the business. Like I'm gonna figure out somehow how to become a professional wrestler. And then I got older. I went to college for electronic media, so like filming, video work, all that kind of stuff. And I got it in my mind then that I was going to find a school and just try and like get my foot in the door. And there was one like 4 hours away from me, and it was like $1,000 to try out. And I was like, that's a little steep just to try out. And if I don't succeed at it on the first night, then I'm out $1,000, and that's a 4-hour trip one way. I was like, we'll wait for a minute, and then
a lot of what ifs.
Yes, a lot of what ifs, and I was like, I can't commit to $1,000 for not a guarantee.
Yeah.
So I kind of put it on the back burner. Like it was still always the goal and always the dream, and then in 2021, I found out that my city had a training school that opened up. And so I talked with a friend of mine and some family members, and then I consulted my doctor at the time. And my doctor at the time said that I wouldn't be able to do it. My body wouldn't hold up, and I'd end up being paralyzed, all that good stuff. And I was like not even a chance at doing this. And he's like, nah, man, you can't do it. I was like, all right, cool. I'll just be a fan then. And so I ended up, I was like, it just kind of ate at me. Like, I don't even have the chance to even like step foot in the ring and give it at least a shot, just a one night shot.
All right.
So it kind of ate at me. And in, I'd say probably April of 2025, I was talking to my family and my fiance, and I was like, I want to get a second opinion. Like it's just eating at me. Like I don't want to have that what if for the rest of my life. And so I went to another doctor, and I was like, do the works. Like run whatever test you got to run, like put me through whatever ringer you got to put me through. I want to know if I can do this. And he did it, and he was like, dude, there's nothing wrong with it. He goes, I mean, it's wrestling. Like you're gonna get hurt.
Right.
He goes, but as far as your body holding up, he goes, you may have to come see me from time to time, but no, you can do it. And I was like, all right, cool. So a friend of mine is a wrestler about 30 minutes away from me. And so I messaged him, and I was like, man, like I want to start training. What do I need to do to prepare for it? And he was like, you need to get your cardio up, get in the gym, get on a diet. And I was like, all right, cool. So I did all that, messaged the training school in Ironton, Ohio, and it was actually Brock's that I ended up talking to. And I was like, man, I want to come in. Like, what do I need to do? And he goes, you just come in on a Tuesday or Thursday at 7:00, and we'll go over it then. I was like, okay. So I showed up one Tuesday, and I've been there ever since.
That is awesome. Do you mind me asking? If you don't want to tell, that's fine. But why was the first doctor saying that there was no chance?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Really?
Like when I was in 6th grade, I played basketball, and like my hip popped out of place. And so I started going to the chiropractor, and like one of my legs, if I'm not adjusted on the regular, is like longer than the other. Like it just kind of shifts out of place, and it's like longer than the other. Mm-hmm. And that chiropractor was just like, nah, man, you can't do it. Like you've been coming to us for all these years. There's no way. And I was like, it's for my hip that pops out of place. Like, what does that have? Like, if I come to you like 3 times a week now because of it, like, what's the big deal? And so, I mean, it just kind of ate at me, and I was like,
Yeah, they
like,
made it seem like it was life and death almost.
Yes.
Like if you like if you hit your head, you're gonna be paralyzed or
Right.
dead or something.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's always that risk of like something goes wrong, like terribly wrong. Like there's the risk, but it's like one simple shoulder tackle is not gonna paralyze me.
Yeah,
like,
kill you or something like that. Yeah,
and
that's
how
hit
he made
by
it
a bus walking outside. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna get a second opinion. Like I've got to try it. Like, not 9-year-old Chad is like dying to just at least try the dream. And then, so May 2nd, I got my first match, and on my wrist tape, I actually had my aunt who's passed away's name because she was a huge wrestling fan. I actually I got into wrestling watching my first ever SmackDown with her. So I had her name on my left wrist tape, and then I had 9-year-old Chad written on my right wrist tape. So even though I'm a heel, I still wanted that significance of how I got into the business. Pretty, like, even just watching it as a fan with me.
Man, I feel old now because he said 9-year-old Chad watching his first SmackDown. I remember when there was no such thing as SmackDown.
Yeah, when it got creative and stuff. So, you're telling your age over there, legend. You're telling your age.
Yeah, I remember prime time wrestling. You know, that was the Monday night show. I loved it. But yeah, that's an awesome story, man. That's awesome. You know, I love hearing people's backgrounds of how they broke in and what motivates them to want to do this. You know, because like you said, it takes a toll on your body. This is not something that you just walk into it and be like, I'll be all right. You know,
right? Yeah,
it's a contact sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't playing tennis out here. You know what I'm saying? This is getting slammed. This is taking some punishment here. So, like, what do you think is the hardest part of training or whatever? Is it taking the bumps? Is it getting the cardio?
As far as the aftermath training, I would honestly say it's our warm up. Our warm up is like majorly intense. The actual training is honestly a cakewalk after I get past the warm up. Like, the Troy and Brox and Bobby, they put us through it. But it makes us better, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
See, I was always the type, like, I played a little bit of high school football. And, other than that, really, I played like little league stuff, like baseball and stuff. But as far as like actual athletics and stuff, most of my athletics was pickup games of basketball and stuff like that. Not that I couldn't play, I was okay and everything for what I was. I was 5'10" and, had the game of somebody 6'10", so that didn't work out very well. But I can't dribble to save my life, but I'm the size of a point guard. That doesn't help anybody or anything. No. But I've always wondered, did you ever play any like football or any like contact sports in high school? And I'm asking for a reason, because if you did, I'd like to get a comparison of like what playing football is as compared to the physicality of wrestling.
So I played basketball from grade 4 to grade 6, and I played baseball from T-ball all the way up to my 7th grade year. So I was like 13. And then I got told I had a major growth spurt when I was in 7th grade, and my muscle on my knee separated from the bone. Ouch. And the doctor was like, you're going to have to wear knee braces if you want to continue playing baseball. And I'm like, there's no chance of getting the knee brace, like not wearing the knee braces in games or practice. And he goes, no. He goes, your knees just won't handle it. I was like, okay. So I played my 7th grade year, and I missed the All-Star game because they had to take me out when I got on base to have a pinch runner for me. And so it made the game not fun anymore. So I left baseball. I got into high school. I started bowling. Ended up turning that into being a professional bowler. I'm still currently a professional bowler. I've added that, so I've added professional wrestling to my resume. But
he's an all around athlete, people.
My town is known for football. I'm a big football fan. My size, they wanted me to be on the offensive line, and with no chance on being on defense or being other than offensive line. And I was like, I don't want to be on the offensive line. Like I want to be on defense. I want to go after the quarterback. Things. Yeah, I want to hit somebody. I want to hit the quarterback. Like I don't want to protect him.
Right.
So I never played football. So I always sat in the crowd and watched and supported my team. I'm a diehard Ironton Tiger fan. I'm a diehard Green Bay Packer fan. My professional sports teams is all around the United States. Like there's no bandwagon for me. I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. Okay. Like I'm all over the the states.
I'm the same way because like I grew up in Kentucky and everything, and how every one of my professional teams that are my favorites come from Boston makes no sense whatsoever. Like I'm a Celtics fan, I'm a Patriot fan, and I'm a Sox fan. So it makes zero sense. Right. He said just be difficult. So, well, speaking of which, while we're on the subject of other sports, what's everybody think about for the first time in our lifetime, the New York Knicks are the world champions?
Did they win the game already?
I thought they won it last night. I thought I seen something last night that said that they won it all last night, 4-1.
I thought they were up 3-1. Like, you could be right though. Hold on. Like, I don't know. I didn't see them.
Unless I seen something that just wasn't true. That blew my mind. I was like, for the first time in my lifetime, I went and told my mom. I said, for the first time for the second time in your lifetime, the New York Knicks are the. Okay. JD said he thinks the game is tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now the Knicks are up 3-1 though. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Yeah. So that's pretty much a done deal.
That's wild. Like,
I know
that's hard to even think about though.
Like it just blows my mind that, because I know that Brunson guy and Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah. I mean, I know they're good players and everything, but it just blows my mind that they're going to win a championship and Patrick Ewing didn't.
Yeah. You got to look against who they're playing against also. I mean, like the team now, like the Spurs, I mean, they're a good young team, but they're young. They've made a lot of mistakes, a lot of costly errors. They gave up 29-point lead, I think the last game or whatever, and was jacking up like 8 threes in a row, doing stupid shit. Before that, in game 1, they gave up, I think, a huge lead also. Like they're great players, but they just haven't been in that moment, and the playoffs are just different. It's a different type of pressure. Yep. And they're not, Greg Popovich ain't there to say, call a timeout and be like, hey guys, let's, calm down, let's do this and this and shit. So, that's kind of what happens when you have inexperienced people in the playoffs. Now, they'll be a great team later on and stuff, once they get a little more experience behind them. But right now, they just don't have it.
Mm-hmm. Well, ain't nobody greater than the team behind me. And I know Uncle Slam disagrees. The team that has the most NBA championships of all time.
The Lakers?
No, that's the Celtics. Celtics are number 2. Or Lakers number 2, man. Lakers,
I don't know what you're talking about. Man, all them plumbers and shit y'all had back in the day.
And for one thing, y'all over here living off Minnesota Lakers or Minneapolis Lakers titles too. Those ain't y'all.
When people were playing plumbers and carpenters, man, I don't even want to hear that.
I can't help it.
When y'all won y'all championships.
I can't help it, man. It's
y'all should have. Y'all had only 12 Hall of Famers. I mean, damn.
I can't.
You had a problem.
I can't say much. Like Green Bay won 9 championships before the Super Bowl was ever a thing. So.
Right. It's always amazed me, and I know we're getting off on something totally different, but it's always amazed me how they don't, recognize stuff like that. And I guess it's, no, it's not a Super Bowl championship, but it's championships. It was the recognized championship of that time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and it was, you know, universally recognized. So why are we not acknowledging it and everything? That's my whole thing is I don't care what area you played in. If you done it, you done it. You know what I'm saying? And I give respect to all of them that have done it because I ain't never done it. So where did the name, the Savior of Wrestling, come from?
Honestly, there's not. I wish I had like this elaborate story, because it like I love the name. I wanted something because like my whole thing was I wanted to be a heel. Like I wanted to come out. I wanted the crowd to boo me. I wanted to talk trash to the crowd. As much as like getting the kids to want my autograph and want pictures with me, how much that enticed me. I was like, just talking trash to a kid is just so much more fun because you get so much more reaction out of them because they're like, oh no, like I hate this dude. Like I want to see him get beat up. And then like my first match I had, as soon as I walked out and I started walking to the ring, there was this little girl to my right and she put her hand out and I drew a cross in her face. And then I walked some more. There was a little boy that had a sign that said I sucked. I took it out of his hands, ripped it up, threw it in his face, got in the ring. Like, and the crowd absolutely hated me. They didn't really care about me drawing the cross in the little girl's face. Like, that was just kind of fine. But ripping the little boy's sign up, like, they absolutely hated that.
I thought it was funny the first time. When was that? A few shows ago, my daughter, she absolutely loves wrestling. Well, independent wrestling. She's not a huge fan of the major promotions, but I mean, she likes a few of the wrestlers and everything. But I think it was a show or two ago, we went to the local EWA event and everything, and she had a sign holding it up, and one of the wrestlers like kind of just hit it and popped it out of her hand. And she turned around and looked at me like she just got smacked across the face. Like, you gonna get up, do something about this, Dad?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's okay. It's part of the show, you know? And that's what, you know, something like that, you doing that, ripping up that thing and throwing it back at him. That's some of the best souvenirs you could get.
Oh,
you know?
Absolutely. Like when I was a kid, like, I mean, obviously like you like all the good guys. When I got into like 8th grade into high school, I started like transitioning from liking the good guys to I started loving the heels. I got to see Monday Night Raw come locally, and it was one of their house shows, but it was Edge and John Cena. And for the WWE title, Edge comes out first, and he was the champion. He was WWE champion. It was for the title. So I was like, okay, Cena's coming out first. Like, put my hand out. Edge comes down. He looks at my hand, goes to shake it, and then he pulls it back. And I was like, okay, like that's cool as crap. Like, hated him at the time, but when I look back, I was like, he didn't have to do that. Like, he could have just walked right on by, just not even cared. But he did that, and I was like, okay, I love that. And then I was like, yeah, I want to be that guy. So there's no elaborate story for it. I wanted something that when the crowd heard it, they would instantly hate me. So they hear the Savior of Wrestling and they're like, well, I don't need a savior. But it's not, the Savior of Wrestling is not me saving the crowd. It's saving the business in my view. I'm purifying the ring how I want it purified. It's for me. It's not for anybody else. I don't care about anybody else. It's all in my view.
Sorry, I'm over here looking at this. Charles said, just wanted to show some love for your stream because you've genuinely got a crazy potential, and I'd love to connect with you with a top. That's, I hate to say it, but that's probably spam. I hope not. If it isn't, Charles, thank you very much. If it is, hey man, come on. You know, you ain't got to do that stuff. But no. So who was your biggest influences growing up as far as wrestling? Like, who would you say you model your wrestling style after?
So my biggest, when I started watching wrestling, my very first match that I actually watched on that SmackDown that got me into it was Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero in a steel cage match. And I absolutely fell in love with both of them. I really liked Chris Benoit inside the ring. Outside the ring is a whole different story. But as a wrestler, like, I loved him.
Right. No denying his talent.
And then a couple years later, I got into TNA. I loved AJ Styles. Christopher Daniels was one of my all-time favorites. Samoa Joe, he's actually one that I model a lot of my stuff after. Because I'm a bigger guy, and he was a bigger guy, and I don't want to be that, oh, well, he's just a big guy, so he can only do big guy stuff. I want to show that I'm an athlete. So Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt. I love Bray. He ended up becoming my all-time favorite. And then I model some stuff after Kane. I do the sidewalk slam, and it's because of him.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with picking a little stuff here and there, from everybody. And plus, I like that too, because you were talking about Bray Wyatt. Unfortunately, he got, his life was taken way too soon and everything, because he had so much. Even if I feel like health issues were known, and that's kind of why he was starting to step back a little bit and everything. I don't know that to be a fact. I just feel like that's what was going on. And then, of course, with everything that happened, we of course find out that him and Triple H pretty much had the same thing going on with their hearts and everything. But, like guys like Kevin Owens, like you said, Bray Wyatt and everything, guys that don't have that Greek god body and stuff like that and everything. I think that for the longest time, they got ignored. And like, even when people not Uncle Slam, but other people that I've used to watch wrestling with and stuff, they would be like, why are you rooting for Kevin Owens? They were like, he's just a beer belly guy and everything. I'm like, man, watch that guy. He puts it on the line every night he's out there. It ain't got how many beer belly guys do you know that do swanton bombs?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so that right there showed me the dude's got incredible talent. And I didn't get the privilege of seeing a whole lot of his stuff whenever he was Kevin Steen in Ring of Honor and stuff like that and everything. But yeah, guys like that, I'm glad that they're starting to get their flowers, especially in the ring, because, you don't have to, like you said, do all the big guy stuff to get over. You can do your super kicks, your swanton bombs, if you could do them. God, please don't nobody go out there and just do something like that for no reason. We lived through the what was it, the backyard wrestling era.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
I do not suggest that to anybody or anything. Fluorescent lights in the forehead, not fun. Not a good day for anybody. Thank you for Keita for being here watching. She's on Facebook as always. One of our loyal watchers.
Or whatever. Who would be your, because you said you like heels or whatever, you think they're, they're more fun to play or whatever. Who would be, say, your Mount Rushmore of heels, or at least your top 4 as far as favorite heels? Basically, if you had to pick.
Hot take, as Brox would say. Hot take.
Yeah. Yes. So we going like just all time, like any company, anything, or just like WWE company, specifically?
Like if you want, so you can pick any company.
Any company, anytime.
I gotta get.
While he's thinking about that, I think it's funny. I'm sitting here watching a match that's got Scotty Flamingo taking on Marcus Alexander Bagwell. Now, if nobody nowadays knows who that is, that's Raven versus Buff.
That's hard. So I'm gonna go with Edge and Randy Orton for sure.
Okay, good choices there, especially Randy.
I feel like I got to put The Rock on there.
Okay.
and it's not necessarily for any of his in-ring heel work, but just his promos. Like I watch his heel promos all the time, and I love it. Like, I mean, people kind of, they rooted for him more as a heel than they did a baby face,
right?
So you kind of lost that.
It's hard to be a heel when everybody's cheering for you and
yeah,
laughing.
absolutely.
He was one of those guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
He was one of those guys that they had no choice but to make him a face, because what he was doing as a heel was just too popular.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Triple H for my last
another good one. Solid.
I loved watching him work heel. Loved him as a baby face too, but I loved his heel stuff more.
I think as a baby face, he was more comedic. He was better when he was doing the comedy stuff as a baby face. When he was the cerebral assassin, I know they say nepotism and stuff like that all the time, but when you're good, you're good. And at that time, after Austin and we've discussed this, Uncle Slam, after Austin and Rock left, Austin due to his neck and Rock due to Hollywood, that Triple H is really all they had to put things on for a few years, until they got Batista up there, until they got Randy Orton up there, until they got John Cena up there. Kurt Angle was there, but Kurt Angle left not too long after and went to TNA, and then, they weren't sure about Eddie and Chris Benoit and people like that. So yeah, Triple H, I think he had a lot more. I'm not saying he's like the greatest of all time or anything like that, but you got to give him his flowers for what he did, because he did carry that company for a year or two at least.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had something else you was getting ready to ask, Uncle Slam.
No. That was it.
All right. So I tell you what, give us a memorable story from your debut match that the fans might not know and everything. Anything that, like, you said it was a squash match, but like what memorable was going on in your mind during all this? Was it just, oh, I'm here, I got to remember everything I got to remember, or was it just, I'm here, I'm loose, let's do this?
So I was actually sick. I started feeling bad the night before when Brock's called me to ask me about it, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll do whatever you need." And then I got absolutely worse that night, and then all day the rest of the day. And I show up, and he goes, "Man, you look rough." I was like, "I feel it." I was like, "But we're gonna rock with it." I was like, I'm gonna try not to puke in the ring. I was like, but I have no promises. So like the music hit, I walked out of the curtain, and it was just like total out of body experience. Like I felt like I was just like this ghost sitting like just out here, like watching myself walk to the ring and get in the ring and everything. And I actually faced a 7'6" giant.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot tall, so like I was just staring up at him. I'm like, ugh, like you are massive.
Yeah, I mean, how's the air up there?
Yeah. So, and it was like they simplified it for me, and like it worked really well. Me and him meshed pretty well. They set me up really good, and we rocked with it. And I got to the back, and I collapsed on the couch, and I was like, I'm not moving the rest of the show, guys. I was like, I'm just going to sit here, and I'm just going to chill.
He's just laying there. Is somebody going to roll me out of here?
Yes, absolutely. Like I felt like crap. I was like, this sucks.
So how do I ask this? Have you ever been in a match or had a feud that kind of tested your I don't want to say tested your limits, or just kind of changed your idea about wrestling? You know what I'm saying? As far as like, okay, it's not what I thought it was. This is what it is.
Honestly, it was probably my first legitimate match on May 2nd for Aftermath's first event. I got to wrestle Titan Troy one-on-one, and he took me to the limit. Like he pushed me all the way, and I gave him everything I could. And if it wasn't for some random chick in the crowd that he decided to put me on her lap and she held me down while he beat me, I'd have pulled out the win there. But I had to get my comeuppance on that one. But
there you go.
That one was for sure. It was like this is a whole nother beast. Troy is hands down 500-mile radius for sure. One of the best, if not honestly, in the world. He's one of the best. I can't say enough good things about him, even though he beat me. There's an asterisk beside that.
There you go.
It's in the book of Chad.
he's ready to go round 2, Titan Troy. So you better be watching your back and everything. So how does somebody get prepared mentally to be the savior of wrestling? What do you have to do to get yourself in that mindset before you step out of that curtain?
Honestly, it's just kind of listening, because my music plays and it says a couple words and then it'll say my name, and then I step out and let the crowd just bask in my glory as it says my name. So when those first few words are coming through, it's more just trying not to throw up. Like try to let the nerves like completely exit my body so I can get out of this curtain and just go to work and just enjoying my song for the couple seconds I get to hear it before I actually step out. And then it's like I get kind of tunnel vision. I still talk trash to the crowd, but honestly, I don't. Like, I've had friends and family in the crowd and I've talked trash to them, but honestly, I don't even know that's them. I just do it. And then when we do film study and our commentary team will put it on YouTube and I'll go back and watch it. And then I'm like, oh, that was him that I talked trash to. It's like, my bad, dude. Like it's not Chad, the person outside of the ring. That was the savior. Like,
right.
It's the alter ego.
See, and that's what's so cool is like, it's cool that you get to, I don't know, like I've said before, we've all walked down the, in between the clothes at Walmart, stuck your hands out, acting like you're going down the aisle or whatever and everything. But it's got to be like something totally different to literally be standing behind that curtain, hear your music hit, and know that, when people are booing or cheering, whichever one, when you come out, you're who they're booing or cheering.
Absolutely.
That adrenaline rush, has got to be something otherworldly. Talk about that.
It's so intense. The May 2nd show, I actually did a battle royal before. So we started the show off with a battle royal. I walked out for it and it didn't, like, the nerves was there, but it was like, this is just kind of a teaser for the crowd. Like, we all walked out pretty much together. We all walked out to one music. So they didn't get to see the savior in full 100% savior mode. They got to see Chad Casey just go in there and just try to pull out the win and everything. But then the match with Troy, I'm standing at the curtain, the nerves are there, walk out, and then the adrenaline's like, whoa, like that's intense. Like, kind of try and steady your legs a little bit. And it's like, okay, like, just don't fall.
Are you comfortable like in front of big crowds, or like have you? Like, are you one of those people that like you don't, like get nervous in front of people, or like have you been one of those people that you just got used to it because of your kind of like your alternate personality? Once you flip that switch? You don't think about the crowd. You just kind of focus on everything else.
It's been a little bit of both. I'm not much of a public speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was in college, we had to do a public speaking class, and I absolutely hated it. I dreaded every single part of it. I was like, if I can just get a C in this class just to pass, like I'm golden.
Like, I'll even settle for a high D.
Yes, absolutely. Like just enough to pass so I can just not take this class again. And then we do promos at training every Tuesday, which is doing promos in front of your peers is, I mean, I think it's worse than going out in front of people that I don't know. I honestly think I can go out and cut a promo in front of 1,000, 10,000 people and do it like it's nothing versus our class size of 20. And it's like, I'm going to be sick. And I think part of it has to do with where I'm a professional bowler. I bowl in front of crowds when I do professional events.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have that where I don't really talk in front of them when I bowl, but they're watching me. They're watching to see if I make a mistake. Because even in the bowling world, you have your favorites and you have your people that you don't like. So people, like, if you're facing their favorite bowler, like they're rooting against you. And I just love it. You have rivalries. Like I bowl in a bowling league here in town every Wednesday night from August to April. And you have your rivalries there. You have your people that you love to bowl against. You have your people that you're like, I really just don't want to go in tonight. And I actually got Brock's Boulder to come out and bowl for me. Had a guy or two that couldn't make it a couple nights. And I messaged him and I was like, brother, I need a bowler. And he was like, I don't bowl. And I was like, just show up. I was like, I just need you to show up and just throw a ball down the lane. And he goes, okay. And he ended up turning into a pretty good bowler. Like he'll lie to you and be like, nah, dude, I suck. But nah, he's for not being an actual bowler, like he's one of the best that I've seen not be an actual bowler.
Well, okay, just out of curiosity, put him on the spot. What he bowled that night?
He shot the first night he bowled, he shot a 130, a 140, and a 110. And it's funny because you think with bowling, like you're just throwing a ball down the lane. But if you don't get a strike, like you're throwing the ball twice in one frame, and then you bowl 10 frames. So if you bowl 2 frames, 2 balls each frame, you're bowling 20 times in 10 frames.
Yep.
So you bowl 10 or 3 games, that's 60 times if you don't ever get a strike. And so the fatigue is a lot different than wrestling fatigue. And so the fatigue, and he throws the ball like 20 miles an hour anyway. So it started catching up to him at the end, and it was like, he goes, man, I'm really sucking. He goes, I'm sorry. I was like, no, dude, like we won. Like you don't got nothing to be sorry about. Like we're good. And
all that matters.
And then he starts shooting like 160s, 150s, and
oh damn, he got really good.
Yeah. And then he got it started eating at him, and he got bit by the bowling bug, as I call it, and he started getting really competitive with it. He started kind of learning the scoring, how I keep track of like if we're winning or losing a game, how many points that we needed, like what we needed there at the very last. And he would bowl before me. I'm the last person that bowls on my team, and he had bowled before me. And he's like, "So what do we need?" And I was like, "I need this from you, and then I've got to do this." And he'd go up, and like I'd pretty much give him a hug after he was done. And I was like, "Dude, like that's clutch." Like not very many people could go up there and do what I told them that I needed.
I'm gonna be honest with you. To this day, I love to bowl. But I, for the life of me, could not tell you how they score that crap. I don't know why there's slashes. I know the X, but I don't know why there's slashes. I don't know why there's threes beside a slash and this, that, and the other. I don't know any of it. I'm just like, man, I'm like Brock's. Tell me what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I'll try to do the best I can with it. Because I know, like, I've I bowl just recreationally and everything. And by the time I'm on the 10th frame, man, my hamstrings are starting to tighten up and everything, trying to dip down and everything. Of course, I got old knees and everything too. So, you know, I'm at the edge of doing the granny roll, you know. So
I thought you used the little bumpers on the side anyway.
Okay,
you know, make sure it stays. It don't go in the gutter.
Gosh, you ain't got to tell everybody everything, man.
Funny enough, I've actually seen somebody actually get it in the gutter with the gutter rails up.
Really?
Yeah,
they must be slinging that.
At the very end where the gutter rails end. You can actually get it to go in the gutter there, and I've seen somebody do it, and it's like how do you do that? And then I've seen people like try and walk down the lane, and when I see people get on the lane, I'm just secretly like, please fall, like don't get hurt, but I still want you to fall.
Right. Step 1 foot over that line. Just put the warning off.
Yes, and so I'll see them go like 3/4 of the way down just to get the ball down the lane more, and they still gutter. And it's like, why even walk down there if you're just going to throw it in the gutter at that point?
Right. I mean, yeah, you're doing something completely wrong.
Yes, like total embarrassment. And then I get secondhand embarrassment for them because it's like, now you got to walk back and try not to fall after you just guttered in front of all your friends and everybody else that was watching you walk down the lane.
You're right. It's like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Yes. I think it's funny you say that because my stepdad, years ago, we used to live in northern Kentucky. Excuse me. And my mom and my stepdad, they used to bowl in a bowling league. And like my stepdad was like one of those people that was like deceptively strong. Mm-hmm. Like he just like looked like a Kevin Owens or something. You know what I'm saying? Just a beer belly, this, that, and the other. But I've seen the man literally pick up couches by himself. And like stupid stuff. Like we bought a new refrigerator back in the day when it had one of the double doors, and you know, back when they were big, huge, giant metal boxes, not like they are now. But they put it on the dolly wrong. And instead of adjusting it and putting it on the dolly, he told the guy just to take the dolly off and he'd take it in the house. And next thing I know, I'm looking, he's got it laid on his back, just picking it up, walking it into the house and everything, setting it down. He had some kind of strap around it. I'm like, what in the world? But no, when they were bowling, they made him quit because he was throwing the ball so hard down the lane that the plate in the back, he cracked 2 of them in one night.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, okay. So, you know, let's not make that stepdad mad. Cause,
right. And that's impressive. Because most of those are steel plates. So, yeah, that's impressive.
I was like, I don't know what he was doing. But I don't, note to self, don't ever have him throwing things at your head. Because, you know, a peanut will go through it.
Yes.
It's like, it was ridiculous. It's crazy. All righty. Let's see here. What other questions I got for you? Oh, that's something that was brought to my attention. I was told to ask about the book behind you.
Yes. I'll bring it on camera for you. It is called The Ultimate Choice. It is a baseball romance book. It was 10 years in the making. 10 years ago, I come up with the idea. My fiance at the time, she's now my ex-fiance, she found the outline for it, and the plot didn't go over as well with her, and she thought it was my way of like writing me cheating on her and bringing that into life. And I was like, no, it has nothing to do with me. Like, I'm not cheating on you. it's just something that come into my mind. Like, the main character's name is Colin Richardson. It starts out chapter 1. He's in senior year of college. He's getting scouted to be in the professional baseball, and he's with his high school sweetheart. He asked her to marry him. And then it jumps 5 years into the future. He's through the minors, and he's getting ready to make his opening day debut with them. I'm not going to say the team because that's a little bit of a surprise. But his professional team that he got drafted to.
The Red Sox.
Actually, no. I can 100%. It's not the Red Sox. Because I felt like that would be too much. It would be too much like me. So I was like, I don't want it to be anything about me. I want it to be completely separate. So it's a whole different team. But so he's going to be juggling like professional life, the fame, the attention, and then moving on with his love life, whether the engagement happens or not. And then certain things from his past show up in his present, and he's got to decide on how to like navigate and proceed forward, which is where the ultimate choice the name comes into place. I started actually writing it May of 2024, and I finished it fully in like March of 2026, and then it was published May 14th of this year.
That is absolutely awesome.
Cool. You're an author too.
I mean,
yes.
What else? Okay, are we going to start listing the things you don't do? Because then it would probably be
it might be easier just to list the stuff he doesn't do.
Right. I mean, you bowl as a professional. You're a professional writer, a professional bowler, a professional wrestler, and then you got your shoot job. So I'm sure you're a professional at that. I'm wondering. Do you sail boats? I mean.
I'm a delivery driver for the biggest industrial supply company in my area. It's probably more than just my area. We're a pretty successful company. We do business in Texas. Pretty sure we're up in Wisconsin at this point. And like they're just expanding. They're reaching customers everywhere. We've got owners who work year round. One of them works on Christmas, any holiday, like he's out working for our customers, and it's like, dude, like take a day. Especially like Christmas or Thanksgiving, like just take the day.
I'm just waiting for him to be like, yeah, man, I was just hanging out in Pakistan one day. I got this call, man. They was like, hey, Osama bin Laden's in the next house over. Go get him.
Yeah.
He's doing a little bit of everything, man.
Like he'll call us and he's like, hey, I'm like 2 hours away. Get this ready for me. And then like an hour later, he's showing up at the shop and he's picking up whatever. And then like 30 minutes later, he's already an hour away. And it's like, how are you getting to these places? Like, what is going on? But nah, it's a family there too. Everybody's really cool. They love the fact that I published a book, that I'm doing the wrestling thing. They've been very supportive. They make sure that I'm well taken care of. If they know that I'm working tomorrow for Aftermath, and they're ready for Monday, so they can ask me what happened. How it went. Some of them are actually coming to watch, and so they're going to get their first experience of wrestling in person, and they get to see me in a whole different atmosphere.
See, that's awesome that you've got support behind you, not only just with family and friends, but your professional life as far as like your work job, your shoot job, and stuff like that. That's awesome. So JD is asking me to ask you about the slow motion capture.
The stop motion capture.
Motion capture, yeah.
Yeah. So I make custom wrestling action figures. I focus mainly on like independent wrestlers because they don't have their own wrestling action figure. So like your AEW, your WWE, TNA, WCW, some of them, they all have their own action figure. So it's not like certain attires like I would like to make, but it's like already have an action figure, and most of them are going to get that attire made at some point. So like I've made myself. I've made a Brock's Boulder. He didn't like the first one I made.
He wasn't pregnant, guys.
No, he was not pregnant. But like when I make a custom action figure of somebody, I want to make it as perfect as I possibly can. I want the likeness there. I want their gear as spot on as I can possibly get it, and I want the height accuracy. Brock's is not a very tall guy, and the only action figure that I know of that doesn't have long pants is Chad Gable. So I took a Chad Gable lower body and I put a Kevin Owens torso on top of it. Looking at it straight on, it was spot on. I was like, oh, that looks good. The legs are a little small. There's nothing that I can do to make them like thicker and keep the height accuracy there. So I was like, that'll work. And then I took a picture of it sideways and sent it to him so he could see his tattoos. And and it was before I knew him and was like friends with him. And he was like, man, that's awesome. Like, thank you and everything. And then when I met him and like me and him become friends, like he was like, dude, like you made me pregnant. And so he's got another figure. I did his attire, his Grappling Inc. attire with Titan Troy. I've made figures of guys that are like 30 minutes away. And then I do my own like stop motion show. And with stop motion, you move their legs, their arms centimeters. Okay. So just barely. And you make them walk, you make them talk, punch, wrestle. And so I'll take picture after picture until they do a punch or a kick, a body slam, and then I'll make it all into a match. And a match can be anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 pictures.
Good Lord, man! You got memory
So how long does it take
to
say make a 5 or 10 minute, little video with stop motion? Like, is this like you taking hours to do like a 5 minute just because you have to move it so
yes.
so small?
So if I have the time, so like if I say I go in like Sunday and I go to my garage and I start filming, I can get 500 to 800 pictures depending on what I'm working on. So like what move I'm working on, whether it's just walking, a body slam, depending on how intricate the move is, I can get 500 to 800 in about 3 hours.
Good.
So a 10-minute match with the current frames per second that I do is 4,000 pictures. I'm actually going to up my frames per second to like 12 frames per second, which will put it at like 20,000 pictures that I have to do for a 10-minute match. A 6-minute match at 12 frames is going to be right about 8,000 pictures. And it's just, it takes a lot of time. And then they have the chance to fall. And then it's depending on where you're at and how long you can, or how easy it is to get them back in the place that they were. If you can't, you have to start over. I've been 1,000 to 2,000 pictures in, and I've had a figure fall on me, and I had to restart the whole thing. And it gets frustrating. And at that point, I take about a week off, and I don't even go out to my garage at that point. I just let the frustration just kind of melt away. I've thrown action figures across the room. My fiance has helped me film and shit. Like she didn't understand it at first when I explained it to her, and she goes, "No, you're gonna have to show me." And I actually built 2 walls in my garage so I could make a full-on arena. So I have a pictured crowd. I have wrestling figures as my crowd members as well. So I have that 3D like look. I've got a barricade, an entrance stage, commentary team, the ring, I've got a lighting rig above so I can have lights shining down. I've got a custom referee. He's a local guy. I put his tattoos on it, 3D printed a head so I can make it just more personable. Because I like doing the independents more than I do the WWE and the mainstream guys. And so she come out and she helped me, and so she'll take the pictures for me. Because when I do the body slam, I don't put my hands in the pictures. I use fishing string. So I'll hold it like way up here, and then they're down here, and I'll have my hand out of it, and I'm just like basically balancing them on each other, but also with the fishing string to keep them in the air to make them actually like do the body slam or the suplex or whatever they're doing.
That is, yeah. Like me and Uncle Slam were talking about doing videos similar to that, you know, for our TikTok page and stuff and everything. But man, after that, I don't know if I got.
Yeah, that's what I was I don't think
it's
you have the patience for that. To be honest,
I was going to say
rough.
when you get done with your in-ring career, man, you need to become like some kind of a motivational speaker to teach parents patience and stuff and everything. Because you got patience coming out the wazoo if that's the case, because I couldn't do it.
Yeah, my patience definitely gets tested really bad. There's lots of words said because they'll start spinning on the fishing string. And so I've come up with like some sticky tack to put on the boots, on the bottom of the boots to like attach the one to the mat so they don't spin as bad. But then like you do a frog splash. Well, there's no way of like attaching them to anything other than the string. You just got to let them spin until they either stop or you just like, you take the picture really quick. So like when my fiance's out there, my grandma's helped me film, my mom's helped me film. Because sometimes I don't want to have to balance a figure with 2 to 4 pieces of string in one hand and take the picture with the other. Because I have a remote that I press a button on. That way my camera doesn't shake. That way it's just steady. So I like having somebody out there so I can have both hands to work. But they'll start spinning and they're like, just tell me when to take the picture. And I'll start like screaming like now, please take the picture now.
Now.
Yes.
Now.
and then it's like, they think they've got it. And then I have to like, they'll pull up the preview and I'm looking and I'm like, no, we got to do it again. So then I have to move the figure back to wherever I wanted it to be, and we have to go through the whole process again.
Wow.
And then like they'll fall over, they'll spin too much, or I'll be like halfway through a vertical suplex, so I'll have them in the vertical portion of it, and the one that's getting suplexed will fall completely off of the figure that's standing, and it's like, are you kidding me?
Now I have to do this again.
Yes, and it's like I've definitely chucked them at the wall across my garage a couple of times.
So I'm assuming you have like 2 or 3 backups to each figure just in case.
Pretty much. The figures themselves are pretty sturdy. The 3D printed heads, they can break really quick. So I definitely have like 4 to 5 different 3D printed heads of everybody. And I just got the 3D printer in probably February. And I wanted to make the figures more lifelike. For the most part, I can find a action figure of a wrestler that has already been made that matches whoever I'm making. Except for Brock Boulder. Cannot find any wrestler whatsoever that looks like him. Everybody says Kevin Owens. I like the body for Kevin Owens for him. Just because, like, and it's not that Kevin Owens is like big and Brock's is big. It's just Kevin's probably the closest body style that I have found for WWE action figure wise, that's as close as I can get to Brock's. But nobody's head looks like him. I've heard a couple people say that Kevin Owens like in the face reminds them of him, and I'm like, no, I don't see it.
Well, I mean, he does have Lesnar's hair now.
Yes, he does have Lesnar's hair.
I mean, hey, maybe that's. I was gonna say earlier, you was talking about the dude sitting there spinning around doing a frog splash. I was like, man, maybe you just invented a new move, the tornado frog splash.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't anybody please don't attempt that.
Like, the Vipers used to say he looked like him back in the day or whatever when she was on the show. Remember she said he used to look like Kevin Owens?
Who said that now?
The Vipers.
Said that Brock's used to look like Kevin Owens?
Yep. Like when I first interviewed him or whatever back in the day.
It's been so long, I don't remember. We've been going at this for about a year, and Brock's was one of our first actual wrestlers that came on.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, we used to have a third co-host by the name of the Vipers. We miss her and everything. Shout out to you, Vipers. But yeah, dude, I don't see how. Look, so where can people watch these matches and stuff?
So I post them on YouTube. My channel name is Pac-Man CC 300. It's Pac-Man like Packers, not Pac-Man the video game. So there is a K in there. And I post all of my stop motions on there.
And what was it? Pac-Man
CC 300.
300. All right, I'm gonna have to go check some of this out later. Watch, I'm going to fall asleep watching stop motion matches tonight.
The best one that, in my opinion, that I've done is my Test the Limits pay-per-view. It's part 1, the opening match. It's two local guys, two independent wrestlers, Chance Profit and Ron Mathis. And it's a 10-minute match. It's 13 minutes in length on the actual video. That's with entrances and post-match celebration. But it's a 10-minute match. It was my first ever 10-minute long match. My cousin, who actually got me into stop motion, begged me for honestly a decade to do a 10-minute long match. And I was like, dude, that's so much time. I was like, I'll do one eventually, but it's going to take forever. And it honestly didn't take as long as what I thought. With my shoot job, and I had bowling at the time. It took me 2 weeks to actually film everything. And then it took me about 3 hours to film or to edit that whole video. So I do like sound effects, their entrance music. I put their entrance video, their Titantron in there. So I make it as lifelike as I possibly can.
I was gonna say, you really are trying to save wrestling in every aspect of it. Like,
yes,
he's like, let's do some animation now. We're gonna have a new rock and wrestling show coming on here soon, and it's gonna be all independent wrestlers, and it's gonna be because of him. So let me ask you this. This will be my final question. I don't want to keep you too long. I know it's 9 o'clock on a Friday night, and people like to, enjoy their weekends and everything. But so you're with your name being the savior of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see as the big right now in the business overall, whether it be independents, the major promotions? What do you see being the biggest positives and the biggest negatives about the business today?
The biggest positive is probably the locker rooms. I've heard some horror stories. Every locker room that I've been in so far, it's been a brotherhood. Like everybody's got your back. Everybody, like, the support system there is just amazing. I don't know how it is in the big companies, but as far as what I've seen, the locker rooms is probably the biggest positive. The biggest downfall is probably the yell butt people. I like to shut my mouth and open up my ears and just listen. And there's so many people they'll ask for advice, and then whoever will give them the advice that they asked for, and then they're like, well, yeah, but, and it's like, no, dude, you asked for advice. Like, just shut up. Like, listen to the advice and then just go rock with it. Like, apply it. And if you don't exactly like what they say, just say, okay, man, like, thank you for the advice. Like, I'll add that to my thinking and put it in my match later in a future match, or I'll apply it. But don't say, yeah, but, like, that just makes you want to smack somebody in the mouth.
Right. And it's funny because we had Mario Mancini on last week. Shout out to you, Mario. And if people haven't seen that, go watch it. Great episode. Unfortunately, we had to cut it a little short because he had an injury in his promotion. Still praying for that guy. Hope you're doing all right with the knee and everything. But that's what he said. He said the first time he was in the locker room, he asked Chief Jay Strongbow. He said, Chief, what do you want me to do? He said, he said, you see that chair right there? He said, yeah. He said, sit down and shut up. Now, I know, the locker rooms were a little more rough back then. And, they didn't exactly talk to you, and I don't want to say in the nicest way because nobody's there to coddle anybody, but I think the locker room etiquette has kind of gotten better, at least from what I've heard over the years. Again, I've never even been in a locker room. I would never even attempt to go in a locker room. I've never been invited, and I don't feel like I'm part of that fraternity. But just from what I've heard, of what it was back in the day as compared to now, it's not the same, but it's still that same mentality. Sit down, be quiet, and just listen to the guys that know what they're talking about. And, instead of trying to talk, take it in. You may not apply everything, and you may not, how do I say it? Everything may not click immediately, but the more you listen, the more you're going to, oh, that's what they meant. Oh, okay, do this, don't do that. And you saying that, just it's kind of cool how that's universal throughout the business, whether it be WWF or, independent in Ironton, Ohio. It's really cool to see that stuff. So what would you say is like something that's kind of hurting the business now? Because wrestling's doing really good. Let's put that out there. It's the business itself, independents, major promotions. It's doing great.
Honestly, I would say the people that think they're the bookers when they're not, that think they know best, whether it be fans, people on the low end of the card, even the high end of the card. If you're not the booker, like, yeah, you might have an idea, and like the awesome thing about Aftermath is we can go to Brock's with any idea that we want, and whether he uses it or not, it's a whole nother story, but he's going to listen to it. And if he likes it, he'll use it. If not, he'll be like, let's kind of table that. Let's rework it or whatever.
Doesn't mean he's not going to use it, but let's rewire it.
Yeah. But it's the people that think that their idea is like God's greatest gift to the world, that it needs to be done now, that they know better than the actual person in charge. I think that's what's the biggest thing that's hurting the business.
Okay. Just people that don't know as much as they think they know. And that makes total sense. Well, but that's all I've got for you. I know Uncle Slam always has a couple of questions he likes to ask and everything, so I will let him take it over before we let you get out of here.
Okay, Doug. I'll make this, short and sweet. I only got two questions. The first one is, I understand, you got the bowling, you got the wrestling, you got your regular job, you got a fiance, you got the stop motion. So how do you have time to balance all of this, between family, work, and all your hobbies? Like, how do you make time for everything or whatever?
It's honestly hard. So my shoot job is 8 to 4. I clock in at 7:50 every morning, and I clock out at 4. My boss said that he's never seen anybody, and like for him wise, he's never seen anybody that's as to the minute as I am. Like I clock in at exactly 7:50. I clock out at exactly 4 o'clock. When he does our time cards, he don't even have to look at mine. So from 4 o'clock to 11 is usually when I decide to like shut the brain off and like lay down in bed. I kind of just at work, I plan out. I'm like, okay, well, on Monday, I'm gonna go out to the garage and I'm gonna try to film at least a little bit, or work on a custom action figure and get some paint done. When August comes around, my Wednesdays are going to be wrapped up. So I'll get to like play on the computer for like an hour, go out and do a custom action figure or whatever. Maybe film a backstage segment, promo, something super like quick and easy. Don't have to do a lot of stress because I have about an hour and a half from the time I get off work until I got to go bowl. And it's just kind of delegating what I just, okay, I'm going to do this day, this day. And then with the wrestling, like, I don't care if I'm booked on a show. If Brox puts in our group chat, like, hey, does anybody want to go here? As long as I'm not busy, I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Because I just want to ride in the car and just listen to him. I don't care if I say a single word the whole trip. I just want to listen and just soak everything in. Especially like I've not really gotten to ride in a car with Troy and Brox at the same time. It's only been Brox pretty much. And then when it has been with Troy, it's been like a 10-minute car ride. So there's not been a lot of like getting to soak in all the information. But it's just a blast to just be able to listen to their stories and their thought process and everything. My weekends, my Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes on Fridays is when I spend the most time with my family and my friends. My Monday through Thursday is just like my Tuesdays and Thursdays are wrapped up in training. So it's really Monday and Wednesday that I get to like just be by myself and just try to do whatever I can. I'm actually writing a sequel to my book. I don't know if I'm going to publish it or not. Depends on how well the sales do for this first one. So if people want to go buy it, I'll publish the second one. If not, I'll at least write the second one for myself. The ending to the book it's a cliffhanger, but it's also a definite end to the book. Like, readers can be happy with how it ends, and not be like, oh, I need closure or whatever. So it's just like whatever I want to do. Like I don't try to like force myself into, oh, I got to go film for X amount of hours every day. It's like, do I have the motivation to go film today? No. Okay, cool. We'll go out, we'll work on custom action figures, we'll 3D print some heads or whatever, some props to use in the arena. I don't want to do any of that. Okay, cool. I'll play some video games or just watch TV. I've got so many TV shows on my watch list, and my fiance yells at me because there's a show that she wants me to watch, and I'm like, well, I'm watching X, Y, and Z right now. And she goes, but you've been watching those forever. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't watch TV hardly anymore. Like, I watch it for 30 minutes when I'm at lunch on my work days, and like I'm not getting through it very fast.
I do the same thing. I'll put a TV show on or something. Like, I'm going to start watching this, get 10, 15 minutes into the episode, and I've got like 3 or 4 notifications going off on something. I'll pick up my phone, start dealing with something else. Next thing I know, I'm 3 episodes deep, and I'm like, well, I'm going to have to rewind all this now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I totally get it.
All right. Last question is, what do you think the biggest thing you've learned since you started wrestling is that you didn't know before?
Probably the psychology of it. As far as singles matches goes, I don't have very many under my belt. I've had a triple threat. I've had a tag team match that I did this past Sunday, and the psychology for each of those is just so much different. So I'd say probably the psychology of everything, because it all has a different point, and so getting to learn what it is that you need to make it worth watching. As Brox likes to call it, you don't want it to be the popcorn match. So getting the good psychology to make the people want to sit there and watch and boo you, cheer you, whatever. You want them in their seats to watch.
That's it. That is exactly it, and that seems to be a universal answer we hear a lot is the ring psychology. A lot of people are athletic enough to where they can go out there and, do leapfrogs and, splashes off the top rope and this, that, and the other. But do you understand when to do that?
Right.
Do you understand how to do that? Like heard Triple H say it, to go back to one of your top four, when you think you're going, things are going too slow down.
Yes.
And then when you think you're going too slow, even slower, slow down.
Yeah.
Just don't rush anything. And again, I've never gotten in the ring. I've never taken the first bump, but this is just stuff that we've learned, as fans of wrestling that, and I think I can speak for Uncle Slam too. I've in the year of doing this podcast, I've learned so much more about wrestling that I didn't know. And I thought I was a pretty good expert, and I'm not. And as far as dates, matches, and stuff like that, pay-per-views, yes, I know things like that. I know like obscure facts, like Undertaker was first Kane the Undertaker, which is the reason I can't stand the Kane character. But facts like that, yeah, I know all that stuff. But the more I talk to people that are professionals in the business, it's like, wow, it's so much more than what you thought. And it's so much, growing up, you always hear, fake stuff, this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Man, if that's fake, all the stuff you have to learn and stuff and everything, then I don't know how to describe it, but these people are not fake, and they're not dummies either. They're not just hillbilly wrestlers that, get in and, put on a show. It's deeply thought out from bell to bell.
Yeah. Like, I mean, everything we do is real. Every bump we take is real. It's the best way I can describe the bump is it's a 35-mile-an-hour car crash. And I mean, we're putting our bodies to it 15, 16 times a match. We're safe. You're trying to hurt the person, but you're not trying to injure them. Right. Like, you're not trying to break their bones or whatever. So it's real. It's just we're trying to take care of the other person so they're not getting severely injured. Because you don't want to break somebody's leg. You want to get close.
The show must go on.
Yeah. But like, we just did Ironton has the longest running Memorial Day parade in the country, and me and Brox did the parade for Aftermath, and he chopped me 60 times probably, and my chest was like ground beef at the end of it. And like I took my shirt off and I took a picture and I posted on one of my social medias, and I was like, tell me wrestling's fake. Like, this is not photoshopped. Like, this is what I just got done to me. Yeah, I mean, it makes me laugh when somebody says that it's fake, because it's like, just step into the ring, just for a second. Like just let somebody body slam you, and then tell me it's fake.
Right. I've seen a ring put together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be, that's very thin mat, very, very thin mat with boards underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like bouncing off of boards. I wouldn't go to my patio and let somebody body slam me. So I'm not,
right.
It just doesn't make any sense. Well, man, we appreciate you being here. You are always more than welcome to come back anytime you want to. Before we get out of here, is there anything you would like to promote or,
our show in Flatwoods, Kentucky tomorrow.
Billy Ray Cyrus country.
That's right. June 13th. Bell time's 5:00. It is a free entry fee. Tickets are free. Bring a chair and enjoy some wrestling. It's at the Toy and Comic Book Festival in Flatwoods. I believe the park name is BF Crager Park. I know it's something Crager Park. On our flyers, it has the actual address. The festival starts at 4, so they're having a live band at 4 to 5, wrestling from 5 to 6:30ish, and then another band comes on after us, and then they'll have vendors set up for like food, comics, toys, all the good works. And then from 5 to 6:30, like honestly, it's probably the best wrestling in our area, like hands down. Definitely one of the best locker rooms. Brock's always puts on an amazing show. The locker room gives everything that we've got. And there's a lunatic with face paint he's going to get the final sermon come tomorrow, and you can count to 1,000,000. He's not kicking out.
Is that the name of your move, the final sermon?
Yes, sir.
Love it. Love it. Yes, sir. Well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the man. This has been the savior of wrestling, Chad Casey. Chad, we appreciate you being here. Like I said, you have an invitation to come back anytime you want to. Maybe next time we'll get Brox to come on with you and everything, and y'all can do a little promo back and forth to each other.
Absolutely.
He'll put you through promo school on the show.
Yes, for sure. He's one of the best promos that I've heard. I love listening to him talk just regular. I love listening to his promos on Tuesdays at training. But man, I appreciate y'all having me. It's been a blast.
Yes, sir. Yes, it has. Like I said, anytime you want to come back, we'll definitely have to plan something and everything. But
absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, go check out Aftermath Pro. Like he said, in Flatwoods, Kentucky. It's going to be a free show. It's going to be good, especially if Brox and all of these gentlemen are associated with it. And Uncle Slam, you got anything else for this gentleman?
No, sir. I'm tapped out for tonight.
I think I am too. I think that referees hit that 3 count. And as always, we're going to ring that damn bell.